is another episode of the Football Unfiltered. And today we'll be focusing on the Npfl, the Nigerian Premier Football League. I'm your host, Georgino Chukuma, and I'll not be doing this alone. I'll be doing this with my guest in the studio, Mr. NICOWIZZY. Mr. NICOWIZZY is a sports analyst. He's also a radio presenter and a lover of football. We are going to be discussing the match
Week 7
of the Nigerian Premier Football League. So, Nico, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Have you seen the Npfl so far? They played the match
Week
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this match
Week 8
has it been so far for you?
All right, it's been very, very with a whole lot of comes with glitz and glamour, a whole lot of excitement, and it has been as usual the Npfl with some changes brought into the whole the whole stuff. And when you look at it, you see that at least for now we have the Npfl being shown on TV, unlike before when it's not on TV as before. And we have upgraded infrastructure and stuff, and we also have new players signed, and we also have some players joining from outside the country. Talking about when you talk about the Kano pillars and what have you.
So the Npfl is showed on television now.
Of course, it's showed on television. Unlike before, they used to show it on television. Anyways, before, not until they had some discrepancies and some mismanagement issues that was when the former LMC, we had the former LMC that we are not they weren't really accountable, they weren't proactive, and a whole lot happened and they were asked to go there. So they brought in the new Npfl board, currently headed by Benga Elebele, who now decided that things should be put in place for now. We have Propel Sports, we have Star Times, bringing the Npfl on TV to the world.
All right, let's go into the business of today. We want to look at what will happen in match day 8. So Lobby Stars will be playing El Kanami Warriors. Lobby Stars just recently signed a new coach. Their last coach, Eugene Agabe, was sacked, and they brought in Daniel Omokachi, who is a former Super Eagles former Super Eagles player. He was a striker. I think he was once a captain. Did he ever become a captain?
No, he was really for Daniel Omokachi and for his new job as the head coach of the head coach of Lobby Stars. It's quite interesting because this is not the first time he's coaching. He has been with the Super Eagles in the past. He has coached JS Hekulus. I'm trying to remember the country where the club is, but he's an experienced coach, experienced player. Played for Everton, won the FA Cup back then, and did a lot in football for himself.
Now he's in Lobby Stars.
He's now with Lobby
Stars Academy Warriors. What do you think is going to happen in that match? I know that in their last matches, that Lobby Stars drew their last match, right? And for El Kanami Warriors, they also drew their last match. So what do you think will happen in that match?
I believe for the last game, which was his first game as in charge of the Lobby Stars setup, he was 1-1 draw in the last game, quite very unimpressive. It wasn't really impressive, although they were playing away from home.
But it's his first game. It's his first game.
His first game, and first game comes with so much enthusiasm, and it comes with a whole lot. But I believe he was going to turn things around because the former coach Eugene Agabe could not do something about the situation right there with Lobby Stars of Makurdi. But now they are presently they have Daniel Omokachi, who is well experienced, and the first game is not really quite bad, 1-1. But I believe that when you look at the two teams in the past, what they have been able to do, we look at the fact that Lobby Stars, in terms of Npfl, staying in the Npfl, consistency in the Npfl, they are more consistent with more than El Kanami Warriors. Of course, El Kanami Warriors, not quite long, they came back from the NNL down to the Npfl. And so I believe that, when you look at the whole situation, I think it should be a win situation for Lobby Stars. For Lobby Stars, but for El Kanami Warriors, you don't rule them out because presently they are the current champions of the President's Federation.
I also wanted to point out that if you look at the Npfl table at the moment, you understand that El Kanami Warriors are 10th on the table, and Lobby Stars they are 19th on the NPFL table. So I can't, even though that on the norms, the more, will I say, the bigger side or the more experienced side in the NPFL is the Ruby Stars. But at the moment, they are 19th on the table in 2024 NPFL table. They are 19th. Why Economy Warriors? They are 10th on the table. So it means that this season, these guys are doing better. So why do you think that Lobby Stars will go and win this game?
It depends on what the tactics that Amokachi came with. Because one thing about football I know is about the tactics, it's about your style of play, it's about your mindset as well. Because you can't rule out the mindset. When you don't have the technical, you might have the technical know-how, but you don't have the winning mentality. When you have the winning mentality, that's when you can be able to win games.
So for you, because of their new coach, you think the new coach comes with experience, so you feel that against the Warriors, you will eventually win because of that new coach factor?
No, it's not about it still boils down to the mentality. If the mentality matches with the game pattern, that's when you will see Amokachi and his boys with Lobby Stars getting to win the match. But if the mentality does not match with he might have a perfect game plan, but the players not mentally, they don't have that winning mentality. They don't have the vibe to win games. Of course, take example for Manchester United of the yesteryears. When you look at them, the way they play, the Alex Ferguson's style of play and everything, you see that the mentality matches with the game pattern, and you see them winning games.
Well, I think I agree with you. Even though Lobby Stars at the moment are 19th of the table, still 5 points that they have. While Economy Warriors have 7 points, so it's just 2 points difference. With the changes that they have done in their coaching staff, with what they did in their last match, I watched the game and I think that they really performed better than they have been performing. I think they can go out and win that game. Let's look at the next game between Para United and Sunshine Stars. Sunshine Stars this season are 4th on the table with 10 points. It's really surprising. Being 4th. I think they are ahead of Rangers on the table. Rangers that won the league last season. Sun Stars already are 4th on the table with 10 points. It's something interesting. How do you think that match will go against Para United?
I believe I think Para United is playing from home.
Yes, Para United is at home. This thing in the NPFL that most times people at home win.
You see, one thing I notice about the NPFL, NPFL is unfolding. A lot is changing, and unlike back in the days when you play games and you expect it's always about the home team. It's not about the away team, and it's really frustrating. It's really boring. But I believe that right now a lot of changes has happened, and for Para United, they really messed up last season. They weren't that wonderful. I think their managers, they had 2 coaches fired. At some point, they brought in a new person. They fired him. They brought in another person.
This firing and hiring kind of.
Of course, it's really frustrating. But what do you expect the club to do? They want results. They want productivity
to
perform. And so you don't hesitate to fire any managers who tries to play with teams. And so you just have to get results. And I believe that looking at the game on ground, Para United, I believe it's a home win situation for Para United, despite the fact that Sunshine Stars have been quite fantastic this season.
But the way they have started this season, I think that they should win. People that already have top 10 points and have and I think they also performed well last season, the Sunshine Stars. So with what they did last season, I know it's still early in the season, but they have started the season well and they are 4th on the table. Because it seems like Sunshine, I know that they're not conversant with going to the Champions League, the African Champions League, but they want to see if they can taste it. So if you want to go to the Champions League, then you have to be consistent, right? So I think this is a kind of big game they should be winning, especially since they are playing a Para United that is 17th on the table. So when you see
you can't rule Para United outrightly. The morale booster there is the fact that we are losing. We are on the edge of losing out of the NPFL. So we need to do something that can bring in See, this thing is about, like, just like I said before, it's about the mentality and the game pattern. If the two matches together, definitely you will see, a very, very productive situation for Kwara United.
Well, Sunshine lost to Kano Pillars, and Kwara United won against Remo Stars in their the last few fixtures. So it's possible anything can happen. Maybe the big dog at the moment might win Kwara United eventually. So viewers, if you have watched so far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget that we have other interesting shows on our channel, like Raw with Bube, there's Dealing with Bube, there's a Spotlight show with John Junior Chukuma. Very interesting episodes. Don't forget to go through our channel and see interesting episodes of different shows that you would like to watch. Let's look at what I consider the big game of the week between Enugu Rangers and Kano Pillars. Enugu Rangers are the current title holders, and Kano Pillars are not newcomers when it comes to the Npfl. What do you think about the match?
I believe for the game in this holding at the Cathedral, the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, quite interesting. I believe that it's going to be a keenly contested game. The Enugu Rangers playing in front of the Cathedral is a fortress. Also, the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano for Kano Pillars is also a fortress. I believe Kano Pillars, they have some additions. Ahmed Musa and Shehu Abdullahi recently joined the team, and we saw how they have fared lately, and I believe that it is going to be very, very tough. Rangers definitely will score. They will score in front of their home fans, and Kano Pillars will try their best to subdue their opponents. But at the end of the day, it's might end a draw.
Yeah, exactly. Especially looking at the fact that they introduced somebody like Ahmed Musa, that is an experienced player. I think it's going to be a very, very keenly contested match. And I think, and I agree with you that it's going to be. Let's look at the next match between Heartland FC of Imo State and Ikorodu City. I think these are newcomers. The two teams are newcomers to the Npfl this season, right? Yeah.
Of course, looking at the two games, you see Ikorodu City, newly promoted. They weren't they weren't in the Npfl before, they were in the NNL before, and they did so well. They got promoted. Right, Ozabaze has been quite he wasn't really outstanding. He complained about a lot before he resigned from his job. 3 new coaches appointed, and including Bayo Adebayo and the others. So, and now they are new. They just won their last game against Abendel Insurance 3-0 in front of their home fans.
Very surprising twist.
Of course, it was really a very
for a team that has not won any game.
In the Npfl before.
That game, and they went into that game and they won 3-0.
It was highly
their new coaching staff.
Of course,
it was a very surprising.
It was really a really productive game for Ikorodu City, and for their opponents. It's going to be a very, very tough encounter. Looking at Plateau United. Heartland FC, sorry.
Yes,
Heartland FC. Heartland FC hasn't really done so well this season. They have been at the periphery of the league table. They haven't been really productive.
Even the Ikorodu City is 20th on the league table. Heartland FC is 18th on the league table. 4 points, 5 points.
So, but now it becomes the team that has the motivation comes up. The team that has more motivation to be able to win games. Heartland FC, we are not supposed to be in the Npfl, of course. They were not supposed to be in the Npfl until they got the slots meant for beyond limits, who actually qualified to be in the Npfl, but they decided to sell off their slot. And now we have Heartland FC of Owerri, presently being coached by Manuel Amuneke, and
who is an experienced
coach as well. Won the Under-17 World Cup with Victor Osimhen back in 2015. We saw how it happened, and he was one time in Tanzania on a different coaching level, but now he's back with Heartland FC of Owerri. You don't expect him to perform magic, but definitely it should be a win situation for Ikorodu City.
For me, I will go for Heartland FC. They're at home. I think that since they're at home, they should actually get that 3 points. Let's look at the next game between Bendel Insurance and Bayelsa United. Another mid-table game or mid-table clash. So what do you think about that game?
Bendel Insurance, they haven't, with Monday Odige, has not been really fantastic this season. You look at their situation. The last time out, they lost 3-0 to Ikorodu City, a newly promoted side. And Bendel Insurance, I think sometime last season they were in the CAF Confederations Cup where they played against RS Bakken.
What went wrong?
Now you look at the fact that they lost players last season. They lost a lot of players. Some of their players left. I know about Amas Obasogie. Amas Obasogie left the team, the goalkeeper, and joined the Ethiopian side. This way the Super Eagles right now, and it's really, really frustrating for them. I believe that the fact that they lost those players have been incorporated into the team, so they know the pattern. There's this kind of pattern of football they play, and when these people leave, you find it difficult for the new ones to be able to grab the pattern and immediately. So it's really a big problem to them. But I believe they will still bounce back one day. The coach talking about Mondo Dige is an experienced coach, and I believe he should be able to turn things around. I believe this time around is a narrow win for Bendel Insurance.
Wanted to say to be
no. It should be a narrow win for Bendel Insurance.
I wanted to go for it, but let's see. It's football. Anything can happen. Rivers United versus Shooting Stars. Rivers are second on the table with 14 points. Shooting Stars 12th with 6 points. I think it's a kind of game that you can easily say Rivers will win because they're playing at home.
Yeah.
And with the way they have started this season, second on the table is not surprising. It's actually exceptional. What do you think will happen in that game?
I believe it should be a straightforward game. Rivers United getting to win that game in front of their home fans at their Dokia Masemeka Stadium, quite a very good ground for them to play. And I think that shows the hunger they have to go back into the Continentals. You remember they were once in the Continentals, yes, where they got knocked out by USM Algiers. That was I think it should be last season or so, or earlier this season. Last season actually, and they got knocked out. But I believe that this time around it's going to be a straightforward win against Shooting Stars, judging from the fact that they have been quite fantastic. They will try to maintain the momentum they have already, and so it will be very difficult for Shooting Stars to match that kind of.
Let's talk about their star boy, Abdullahi. I don't know if I pronounce that well, but Abdullahi already scored 3 goals this season. Do you think he will continue in this scoring?
I believe it depends on the consistency level. This one thing about football is, being a good player is one thing.
Yeah.
Consistency level is another thing. If you want to be like the Ronaldos and the Lionel Messis, you have to be very, very proactive. You need to maintain some level of discipline, maintain some level of decency even in your personal lifestyle before you can be able to get to that level of consistency. So I believe him scoring 3 goals already is positivity, but it still depends on how he is able.
Can he continue
scoring? So only time will tell.
He has scored 3 goals. He's early in the season and he already has 3 goals. I think that he might eventually continue to score. There is a golden boot to win, right?
Of course.
Let's look at the next game between Eyimba and versus Niger Tornadoes. Of course, we know about Eyimba in the league. For Eyimba is like the Madrid of the Nigerian team. They always succeed when it comes to Nigerian football. My viewers, I guess you're still watching, so don't forget to like, comment, share, click on the notification button. It's important to click that notification button so that you'll be able to get frequently notified of our episodes. Don't forget that if you watch our EPL preview for the Football Unfiltered, you can stand a chance to win 5,000 naira when you predict correctly who is going to win the match day of the week. Make sure that you watch our EPL review. Nico, still in the studio. We're going to be talking about another big game of the week between Eyimba versus Niger Tornadoes. Enyimba, they are third on the league table. Niger Tornadoes, they are sixth with 9 points. Enyimba already has 10 points. So they are leading Niger Tornadoes with just 1 point. What do you think about that game? I think it's going to be a keenly contested match. What do you think about that?
Of course, just like you pointed out, keenly contested game, quite very, very. Of course, that's what it should be. But I believe Enyimba is getting the nod this time, because when you look at their experience, they narrowly won the Npfl last season, yeah. If not for Rangers and Fidelis Idechukwu and what they were able to do. They couldn't have won the league, but Enyimba did their best. Since Kanu Nwankwo came into the picture, yes, he has been quite productive. He has the club to another level that they were not. They used to be in that level, yes, in the past when Felix Anyasiagu was the chairman of the club, but subsequently a lot of things happened to them. Kanu Nwankwo came into the picture and they have been doing well. I remember when Finidi George was there and they won the Npfl, and now they are to play. I believe is judging from their experience they have had in the Continentals lately, just before they got knocked out, it's going to be a winning situation for.
Before we go to the next game, do you think Enyimba can win the league? They are not top of the league at the moment, they are third, but do you think it's possible to win it?
Of course, they can still win the league, and just like I used to say, if the mentality matches with the game pattern, the productivity level will be so high, and I believe Enyimba has all it takes to win the Npfl. There are no first-timers in the league. They have been there. They have a record in the Npfl, even in the CAF Champions League, yes, exactly, where they won back-to-back. So it's a highly productive team, and so I believe they can still win, the Npfl, even at the expense of the likes of Rangers, and Rivers United of this world. So I believe,
and even Remo Stars.
Of course, Remo Stars quite fantastic this season, thanks to Daniel Ogumodede and his level of doing things.
All right, let's look at the next game between Plateau United and Remo Stars. I just talked about Remo Stars. They are first in the league with 15 points. They've started so well. Plateau United has 7 with 8 points. What do you think will happen in that match? Plateau is at home.
Of course, Remo Stars, I believe Remo Stars might just get the better of Plateau United. They have been quite fantastic. 15 points in the league. Daniel Ogunmodede's, his way of doing things, tactics, coupled with the fact that he has players who can be able to match the situation. Sikiru Alimi has been a very, very constant goal scorer in the Npfl. He has been quite fantastic, and look at their last game. The last game they played 3-0.
Yes, against
Nasarawa United, and you see how productive they were, and so I believe this time around it's going to be a keenly contested game. Yes, you don't rule out Plateau United because there are no minors in football these days. You don't rule out Plateau United. Plateau United might decide to fight back like wounded lions.
Yes,
and it might turn out really something else for.
I don't know for you. Stars. I saw that alteration between the Remo Stars coach and the Rangers coach. I don't know if you saw a video like that where after Remo Stars met Enugu Rangers, they came together and I won't call it a fight. The rivalry was here. What do you think about that? This rivalry in the Npfl, we've seen it before now. The coach kind of rivalry.
I think we used to have rivalries in the Npfl in the past. Back in the days, but all those things reduced because of the fact that we no longer people no longer fancy the Npfl.
Yes.
We focus on watching the EPL, the English Premier League of this sport, the La Ligas, the Portuguese league, the French Ligue 1, a whole lot, the German Bundesliga, and we forget our own here. And so it's really bad, but
so you feel the rivalry is supposed to be.
The rivalry should be there. It's part of the glitz and glamour we used to see in football. So I believe that at the end of the day, for Remo Stars, they might just be the next winners of the league.
Let's talk about the last game for the week: Castana United versus Aqua United. How do you think that game will pan out?
It should be a win situation for Aqua United. Aqua United, of course, they are They are well experienced. Also, Katsina United is experienced as well, but they are not as experienced as Akwa United. And Akwa United have won the Npfl before, and you look at they lack nothing. They lack nothing. Akwa United,
but at the moment, they're 16th on the league table. Katsina United are 8th on the league
it still
table.
boils down to the management of the club and the situation of the players, the mentality. I used to talk about mentality. One thing about football is the mentality. It was about mentality that Leicester City won the Premier League some years ago. If it wasn't about the mentality, they wouldn't have beaten the likes of Manchester United and all the people they defeated that season and won the league. So it's about mentality. One thing about football, it's also about the game pattern of the coach. It's about also the mentality of the coach himself. So I believe Akwa United is a very strong team. They don't lack anything in terms of the logistics, the finances of the club. They don't lack anything, unless if maybe something else is happening, somebody should correct me, stand to be corrected. But I believe that they have everything at their disposal. They have one of the best stadiums in the world, the Gospel Akpabio Stadium, state-of-the-art facilities and all that.
It's unfortunate that they've not really started well this season, because I don't know why they are 16th on the table with just 6 points. But this football, let's see what happens. Consider the fact that they are also playing away, and Katsina United, they have started at least well. They have 8 points already, and they are 8th on the league table.
Yeah.
I think let's see what happens. This football, anything can happen. So that's why we'll be wrapping up this edition of Football Unfiltered, featuring the Npfl. Nico, thank you for joining me to do this. I'll be seeing you next week.
All right, thanks for having me, and it's a pleasure being on the show.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next week.